What's going on, guys? Dawkbro back again. I hope you are fantastic today, and welcome to Pat's Five Nights at Freddy's 4 video. I want to do a reaction video on this. I was thinking whether to do one after, like talk about what he's done, or just do it while watching it. I think that's the best way to do it. So we're just going to watch Pat's video together and see what we think. It's 18 minutes long, so I know it's going to be jam-packed, filled with lots of theories. Pat's a brilliant guy. Let's just go for it. Let's go. Let's go. Right now. Go.
There's gotta be a code to open this. Bite of 87. New text? I must be close. Incident of 83. One movie. 11 animatronics. 11 kids. One phone guy. One killer.
Holy crap.
For purple backwards. Is that Markiplier?
Oh God. What?
Yes, Pat.
Markiplier?
It was me the whole time, and that's no theory.
Holy crap, Markiplier's gonna be in it. Markiplier's in it! Freaking awesome. I love it how he's done this. He did this with his other theory videos, edited it to FNaF. Oh God. I freaking love it how he does it. Oh my God.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
Welcome to the Five Nights at Freddy's podcast. Sorry, I mean Game Theory. Game Theory. The show that covers theories on other games in the 2-week intervals between new installments of FNaF. But if I'm ever going to see requests for games other than FNaF 4 in my Twitter feed, this video needed to be made. Because I have a confession, Internet. I made a mistake. In my last FNaF video. Not in my research, mind you. My conclusion that
research
this
was
kid
good.
Scientifically could not be the Bite of 87 victim was actually 100% right, both scientifically and, as you've been eager to point out, lore-wise. No, I was wrong in calling this the Bite of 87. I'm man enough to admit my mistakes. Hey, it's why they're called theories after all,
I was
right?
going to say,
Anyway,
but
in this
83.
case, Scott was sure to let me know my error in his first comment on any of my videos on the franchise, to my knowledge, which was really exciting, but it did leave me wondering, should I feel honored or trolled? And say, because you were asking, I didn't delete that comment. I only delete comments from game theorist bots. No, I don't want your free PSN code. So I guess Scott must have deleted it himself. Maybe there was a typo. Or maybe a clue to FNaF 5. Before we get that far ahead, let's close the book on FNaF 4. First, let's set the record straight on where it takes place. It does not take place in Fredbear Family Diner, but rather the first location of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The one from the old phone guy tapes found in FNaF 3.
Yep.
The spring lock yellow suits are the only ones there.
Yes.
I hear you typing. You're right. They obviously are. But remember, Phone Guy's tapes in FNaF 3 welcome you to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, not Fredbear Diner, before they tell you about their, quote, specially designed suits. Roll that cassette tape.
Welcome to your new career as a performer/entertainer for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Right now, we have two specially designed suits that double as both animatronic and suits.
Specially designed, i.e. not in existence during the Fredbear era. Plus, in that same set of phone calls, Phone Guy tells us the suits have become decommissioned after an incident where there were, quote, multiple simultaneous spring lock failures. What do we see at the end of FNaF 4? An incident where multiple spring locks fail simultaneously. The child dies. And let me be clear, because the terminology is pretty confusing. In the game, the word spring lock is used to describe both the suit as a whole and the individual locking mechanisms within that suit. A spring lock suit is made up of multiple spring locks. To have multiple simultaneous spring lock failures, like Phone Guy says, would either mean multiple suits going down at the same time, which is a bit coincidental and hard to believe, or that multiple locks within the same suit collapse at the same time, causing a catastrophic failure. Say, for instance, because a child is squirming to escape and his tears are moistening the locks. Crunch. And besides, don't you think it'd be weird for Fredbear's Diner to use these suits, have them kill a child, sell the company, and then Freddy Fazbear's Pizza starts using them again? Just wouldn't make a lot of sense. Long story long, although Fredbear and Springtrap are the featured attractions at this restaurant, this is a Freddy Fazbear branded joint.
Yeah.
One dating back to, as we see on the TV set, 1983.
Okay.
But enough about the timeline. I don't want to dwell on it in this episode. To me, having a general placement of the timeline is enough because the most interesting part of this game is the ending and its overall meaning. Like I said in the other FNaF 4 video, if this was just a random kid who got bit, that would be really lame. So how does this particular kid fit into the overall lore? Why is this incident of 1983 so important to show? Who is the FNaF 4 kid, and what does the ending line of "I will put you back together" well, let me tell ya, the evidence points to him being the puppets. Let's look at the evidence. First, many have pointed out the streaming tears down the kid's face, which mimic the tears down the puppet's mask. Okay, sure, that was good evidence when we first saw them in FNaF 2, but at this point, those nice pixelated streams are on nearly every chubby cheeky kid who's ever entered these restaurants. So alone, it's not much to go on. But we can take it one step further. While the tears themselves might not be interesting, look at this. It's a screen from the Mango minigame
we've
back
done
in
this.
FNaF 3. This weird crime
Same position.
silhouette
We all
was
said
just
this, didn't
kinda
we?
out of place in the last game. And all us FNaF theorists just kind of glossed over it in our analyses, since, seriously, what is it? I mean, it kind of looks like the puppet, right?
Yes,
its overall
does.
fabric feel and its thin striped legs. I mean, that's what I thought at the time, but again, there was really no reason to bring it up since it just didn't fit anywhere. But now we have a new game and new information that might make this make sense. Look at its body position. Notice anything specific about it? It resembles a position we see our FNaF 4 kid in a lot throughout the game, including his final scene, kneeling down, 2 streaming tear tracks, and his face turned 2/3 toward the camera. Do you see the connection here? But not only that, look at what our kid wears. A black and gray striped shirt. And remember, this is in a world where all the other kids are generally wearing single color outfits. It's an oddly specific
listen to the music.
Now I ask you, what's the signature look for the puppet? None other than black and white stripes.
He's right.
Besides those design details, consider that there's no sign of the puppet anywhere in this game.
That's
and yet
very true.
Every other animatronic is present in some form, meaning that this game likely exists at a time when the puppet has yet to be created. Remember when he just kind of showed up in FNaF 2, which I should remind you takes place 4 years later than this game? He just kind of came out of nowhere. Well, this could be the puppet's origin story. This idea of kid as puppet also works really well with the locked box at the end. What's in there besides
the puppet?
Markiplier's stunning face and buttery
We
voice?
said this,
The
didn't
puppet.
we?
As we
The
see
puppet.
in FNaF 2, he has a habit of coming out of boxes. And he's the only one who can bend and fold up into a space that small. But there's even more evidence when you look at the timeline. Now, I challenge you to ask yourself one question. What exactly is the child afraid of in this game? Why does he hate this restaurant so much? The easy answer would seem to be the animatronics, but that'd be wrong. It's important to note that at the time of the cutscene minigames, he's not scared of Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. When you walk over the pile of plushies in the corner, we see that he considers these characters as his friends. Foxy is kinda in that camp too, but to a slightly lesser degree because his brother has started scaring him with the Foxy mask, hence the head being pulled off. Even the weird psychic friend Fredbear isn't a scary presence for him. So clearly he's not scared of the characters. Is he scared of the people working at the restaurant? The purple guy? Maybe, but that's not quite the full answer either. Again, watch how he behaves. When trying to escape the worker in the Fredbear outfit, he can't muster the courage to run past the show stage with the yellow suits. He collapses in fear. And when the bullies drag him over to the stage, he's freaking out. Clearly,
and
what
in
he
the
is
parts
specifically
room as well.
afraid of in this restaurant is the yellow Springtrap suits, whether in animatronic mode or suit mode, which begs one question. Why? Well, the answer lies in psychic friend Fredbear.
Hello.
The dialogue running through the kid's head. Hurry the other way and find someone
He
who
will catch
help.
you.
You know what happens if he catches you. That line would be easy to write off as this just being a scared kid who believes the ghost stories he's heard from the dead-eyed girl he talks to on the way home. She's creepy. If it wasn't for one thing, this other line. No. Don't you remember what you saw? This kid actually saw something, a crime, something terrible in these restaurants. It would seem to imply that he saw another child get shoved into one of these suits. This would also explain the strange brown pixels sticking out of the yellow body backstage. A tuft of hair, perhaps? All of these details also fit with the character I've been lovingly calling psychic friend Fredbear. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Who are we gonna call? Psychic friend Fredbear. I mean, seriously.
I get what he means
now.
now.
What is this thing? Sometimes he's a bear, sometimes he's referencing it, and sometimes
yes! You did it!
Okay. At first, it seemed like the creepy little toy was nothing but an imaginary friend. That was until the final moments after the bite, when we see the bear's signature yellow text.
Yes.
But this time, instead of parroting back the kid's feelings like he usually does, he shows that he is clearly in possession of a mind of his own, saying all kinds of creepy things.
This is the problem,
like,
though. Different text colour. We discovered this, didn't we? But this was obviously before. After he made the video, we found this out.
Personality of the kid or anything. This is a separate entity. This is a spirit. This is someone who knows the danger of getting caught by the people wearing those suits.
Yes, exactly.
This is the victim that our FNaF 4 kids saw getting stuffed. This is Golden Freddy, Purple Guy's first victim. And I know you're rushing into the comments now to say that this changes a lot of things and goes against stuff we've been saying for a while. But don't worry, we'll address it. Just get excited. We've picked the identities of our 2 most mysterious animatronics. This is an awesome revelation from an evidence standpoint, but to be honest, it's a little disappointing from a storytelling standpoint. Here's why. We humans all have a proven psychological need to complete things. This need is called, unimaginatively, the completion principle. We want to fill in the blanks in the stuff around us so that the world makes sense and we feel in control. It's the biggest psychological reason why you
my girlfriend does that all the time.
Or even just an individual level. You know how you just can't stop and save in the middle of a level? You have to play until it's done. This is the reason why. Weirdly enough, it's even the reason why it's so hard to leave just one slice of cake outside of sheer deliciousness, or leave out the last 2 pieces of a puzzle. I mean, even just looking at it on the screen, Earl, just put the piece in. Just finish the last 2 just animate the pieces to move over into the open slots and beg you. Just finish the last
Hey.
Thank you. This isn't just you being, OMG, I'm so OCD. It's actually because the brain is wired to respond to knowing when you're done with a task. The brain can now take the mental energy it was using to focus on that activity and use it on something else. But what happens if you don't finish that piece of cake? Or if you walk away from a game right before beating the level? Your brain can't put that activity away because it's still not finished. You literally continue to spend mental energy on it in the background, even when you're doing other things.
You're right.
As long as there are unknowns, your brain can't feel in total control
Finish
and
it.
can't let things go.
Yeah.
And whether he knew this when creating the first FNaF game or not, Scott Cawthon has done an amazing and infuriating job of creating a story that looks like it goes one way, but also looks like it might go somewhere else. This keeps us thinking about FNaF lore, talking about FNaF lore, pestering
I saw one of my videos
for more FNaF lore for weeks, months. Watching every video released on everything from top 10 details you missed in the FNaF 4 teaser to top 10 facts about the cupcake. The cupcake. 10 facts about the cupcake. Seriously. Once we're into the lore,
that was a burn.
Cannot let the
was that a burn or
some kind of resolution, a completed story. But Scott has done such a good job of keeping the game in flux that the pieces never quite feel like they fit in a way that feels satisfying. We never get that moment of ROLAIDS. That spells relief. So we want the pieces of the puzzle to fit together cleanly, and the problem with FNaF is that while there's plenty of evidence for the story to go one way, there's also evidence for it going somewhere else. Try this one on for size. Well, there's a lot of evidence for the kid in FNaF 4 being the puppet, and I'd bet my bottom dollar that that's the solution that Scott intended. From a storytelling standpoint, more pieces actually fit together if the FNaF 4 kid becomes Golden Freddy.
That's what we've been saying!
This would make our first victim, the one our FNaF 4 kid sees get killed, the puppet, like we've been hypothesizing. FNaF 2. Suddenly, you have a group of 5 kids celebrating a birthday. One kid associated with each animatronic, with the one representing Golden Freddy being the odd man out. And this scenario perfectly mimics the FNaF 3 good ending.
Exactly, but he's going to twist it. He's going to say something.
5 kids, each representing
That's
a
what
different
we've all been
animatronic,
saying.
reunite to celebrate a birthday that never really happened. It actually creates a beautifully bookended story of redemption and forgiveness. A reunion of brothers. And And yeah, I know the complaints. Don't get me started about the size of the kids being different. They're the spirits of dead children in an 8-bit minigame, okay? Literalizing the sizes seems to be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
And it goes even further than that. In the FNaF 2 Give Gifts minigame, the puppet gives life to the dead children. With Golden Freddy as the odd man out who doesn't get a mask and does a ghostly jump scare at the end. That would reflect the 4 bullies getting killed in the pizzeria by Purple Guy in response to this incident, while the one, Golden Freddy, dies somewhere else, like a hospital bed. I mean, we do see the IV and pills and flowers, and as a result, that's why the puppet, the first victim, is able to reach those 4 kids' souls and save them.
Exactly.
Golden Freddy has to behave like a ghost. It also gels with the idea that the Take Cake minigame represents the first victim at the first location, and why the puppet is always the jump scare, because he's the kid we've just watched get killed. So a lot of storytelling pieces fit together, but at the end of the day, that leaves us with too many questions about why Golden Freddy is talking to our FNaF 4 kid. A spirit needs to be inhabiting that bear for the story to make sense.
You're right.
Scott certainly put in
are
plenty of evidence that leads us to
actually.
believe that the FNaF 4 kid is the puppet. The FNaF 4 kid needs to have seen a tragic, scary incident to make him fear the restaurant, which means he can't have been the first kid to have been killed. In short, the challenge here is that you have a choice.
This is what we've done. This is perfect.
But the resulting story
it's exactly
is more
what we've been
satisfying for
saying.
him to become Golden Freddy. And either side leaves you wanting more.
Exactly.
Because not all the evidence works in either scenario.
Yes!
And that is the true secret to FNaF. The completion principle demands that we get answers, that the scraps of evidence across the 4 games come together cleanly. But if and when they do, our brains will just be able to move on and forget about it, making it just another game that we played and is collecting dust on our shelf, or taking up memory space in our Steam account, I guess. In the meantime, good on Scott for making sure FNaF is always on our minds. He didn't do it by giving us endless levels or a whole bunch of stuff to complete. He did it just by making sure the pieces that are there are never quite enough. So GG, Scott. GG. And GG to all of you too, theorists. All of us. For trying to complete the story and solve the mysteries. I may complain about it, but honestly, I've been having a blast. It's like the Gravity Falls of video.
It is!
It's been my honor to work with all of you on this quest over the last year, and I look forward to trying to continue the quest in the year to come. In fact,
good job, man.
This has been a video many of you have been waiting for a long time. Now that it's finally out, this Thursday at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, I'll be live streaming right here on the Game Theorist channel, answering all the remaining questions you have about the FNaF franchise, touching on things I didn't get to cover in this episode, like the presence of Mangle in FNaF 4, while also looking at some of the theories that you've been submitting to me over the last year. So if you have a question you want answered or a theory you want addressed, between now and Thursday at 4 o'clock p.m. PST, tweet me at GT with the hashtag GTLive. It just helps me sort things. I'll be reading your burning questions and answering them to the best of my ability, and who knows, we may even be able to get a special guest or two in here. So remember, that's right here on the Game Theorist channel, Thursday at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. And to get you ready, welcome back to the Super Amazing End Card Tournament, where I want to know, do you think the FNaF 4 kid is the puppet or Freddy? Simply the arguments for both sides. Click on one to choose. I'll let you know which side won on Thursday's live stream, and it'll all be our way of letting Scott know how we want this story to take shape.
Good job, man. That's so awesome.
Just a theory.
A game theory!
Thanks for watching.
Right. Oh. Meanwhile, in the
He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Who you gonna call? Psychic friend Fred Bear. I like switch keys at the end. It's weird. Psychic friend Fred Bear. That's it. He's here, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Who you gonna call? Psychic friend Fred Bear. That wasn't it either. Damn. He's here, he's there. This is great. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Who you gonna call? Psychic friend Fred Bear. That was it.
Anyway!
You have a question for a long...
Where is it?
The Super Side 1 on Thursday.
Right, it's so hard to know, folks. I love the way he's done it, because it's exactly right. We, as a community, have made a debate whether it's the puppet or whether it's Golden Freddy, and both sides have a lot of evidence for each side, and I think Scott's done that purposely, and I think it's really cool how he's done that. I personally think that the ghost is Golden Freddy. I'm going to say that. Although there's a lot of evidence for the puppet, there's a lot of evidence for Golden Freddy as well, and it's really hard to know which one's which. I definitely think both the puppet and Golden Freddy are very, very connected together. They are different spirits, but I think they are very close to each other because they were one of the first victims who died, etc., and then the other gang later on, and they're both very ghostly as well. We spoke about this on 8-Bit's video today. Not today when you watch this video, but how they're so ghostly to one another, you know. They can disappear, Golden Freddy can spawn in the office just like that and fades away. He floats in the air, his head floats in the air. The puppet, for example, you see on the cameras him floating in the air. In Five Nights at Freddy's 3, again, he's floating. In the minigames, he's floating. And in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 cutscenes back in the FNaF 1 pizzeria, when you're in the Freddy costume, yes, you see Bonnie and Chica, but the people who are standing outside, not on the stage, are both the puppet and Golden Freddy, which I find very, very interesting, and they definitely have a connection with one another. But I'm going to say Golden Freddy. I want you guys to tell me in my comment section what you think about this. I think MatPat's done a good job. He's gave both answers to each side, which is good, and I think they're both right. They're both exactly right to one another, and it hasn't gave us like a debate to argue with him. Like he's like, no, this isn't right, because in the video he's just perfectly answered both sides to it, which I didn't expect him to do. In his podcast he was saying, he's going to do about the puppet. And we was like, oh, what about Golden Freddy? And then this happened, and it's perfect. I think it's a great job, and he's done an amazing job. And I find it really, really awesome how he has to put all of these theory videos, what a lot of YouTubers have done, like me and Razbowski, and a lot of people as well. We have to do separate videos for each theory. But because MatPat's got a game theories channel, he can't do that, and he has to add it all in one video. And I think he's done a fantastic job. So good job, MatPat. Lots of love, guys. It's just an awesome video. Made me so hyped. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all next time.